Hey everyone, today we're diving into something that really affects every single one of us. How do we build cities where everyone, and I mean everyone, has a place to call home? It's a huge question, right? So let's jump right in.
And this isn't just about bricks and mortar. It's not just about building houses. It's about creating real communities, places where people can truly thrive. This is a massive challenge that pretty much every city on the planet is wrestling with. So today, we're going to unpack how we might just get it right.
Think of urban housing like this giant, complicated puzzle. On one side, you've got the huge demand for space. On another, the absolute need for affordability. And then there's that crucial piece, the desire for a real community. It's a super delicate balancing act, a tough equation for sure, but it's one we absolutely have to solve.
Okay, so to figure out how we can build better cities, we've got to start with the fundamentals, the absolute basics. Let's talk about the essential building blocks, the different types of housing that actually make up our cities.
First up, the one we all know, the detached house. The classic single-family home. It's the dream for so many people, right? Your own plot of land, total privacy. Think of those iconic Lutyens bungalows. But let's be real, in a jam-packed city, this isn't always the most practical option. All right, next we've got row housing. These are houses attached side by side, sharing walls. The genius here is that by sharing those walls, you make incredible use of limited land. It's a way to get higher density without having to build giant towers. And then, of course, you have apartments, or as they're sometimes called, flatted developments. Here, we're stacking homes on top of each other. This is how you get some serious density, which is perfect for a bustling city. It's no surprise that this is the go-to solution for an authority like the DDA. Last but not least, there's cluster housing. And this one is really interesting because its main goal is to build community. The whole idea is to group homes around a shared open space, like a courtyard. It's about creating a neighborhood that feels like, well, a neighborhood, not just a bunch of separate houses. So let's just quickly recap. When you lay it all out like this, you can really see the trade-offs, can't you? Detached is all about privacy, but it's not great on land use. Row housing, super efficient. Apartments are king for density. And then you have cluster housing, which is kind of trying to find that sweet spot, balancing a bit of everything. Okay, so we've got the basic building blocks down. Now let's move on to the really cool stuff, the strategies. These are the recipes, if you will, that planners and architects use to actually cook up better, more sustainable, and fairer cities for all of us. So every city faces this fundamental choice. How do we grow? Do we just keep expanding outwards? That's what we call urban sprawl, eating up more and more natural land. Or do we get smart and grow inwards, using the vacant or underused spots we already have inside the city? That's infill housing. And believe me, the choice between those two paths basically shapes the entire future of a city. Now, let's talk about a really powerful idea called self-help housing. It's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a partnership, right? The government comes in and provides the essentials, a piece of land and basic services like water and electricity. Then it's over to the residents. They get to design and build their own home, bit by bit, as they can afford it. It's an amazing model pioneered by people like John F.C. Turner that literally lets a home grow with the family. Okay, quick check-in for you. These schemes where the government preps the sites and services and people build their own homes, what are they a classic example of? The answer is B, self-help housing. It's such a powerful tool for empowering communities and, of course, creating housing people can actually afford. All right, enough with the theory for a second. Theory is great, but what does the stuff actually look like out in the real world? Let's dive into some incredible, game-changing projects that completely shook up how we think about city living. First up, we're heading to Indore, in India, to check out Aranya low-cost housing. This is a masterpiece by the legendary architect B.V. Doshi, and it's celebrated everywhere for its incredibly human, people-first design. So what made Aranya so special? Well, it's the ultimate example of what we were just talking about, incremental housing. Here's how it worked. Each family got a plot with just a basic service core, basically a toilet and a kitchen hookup. And from there, they were empowered to build out the rest of the house themselves, as and when they had the money. The result? A truly vibrant mixed-income community that has literally grown organically over the years. And this really gets to the heart of B.V. Doshi's philosophy. The idea is simple but so profound. Give a family a secure foundation, and they will build not just a house, but a real home and a future. It's about dignity and empowerment. Okay, from Indore, let's travel over to Navi Mumbai for another iconic project, Balapur Housing. This one was designed by another visionary, Charles Correa, and it tackles that big challenge of density in a totally different way. So what's the trick here? Bellapore proves you can have high density without building skyscrapers. It's all based on that cluster concept we mentioned. You have groups of low-rise buildings, all connected by this amazing network of open spaces, from tiny private courtyards all the way up to shared community squares. And every single home had its own little patch of open sky. It's a design that just naturally brings people together. All right, for our last case study, we're jumping across the globe to Montreal, Canada, to look at something that still looks like it's from the future, Habitat 67. This was designed by Moshe Softy for the 1967 World Expo, and man, was it a bold experiment. I mean, just look at it. Habitat 67 is this wild, almost pixelated-looking structure. It was built using prefabricated concrete boxes, or modules, that were stacked and arranged in this incredible way. And the goal? To give every single apartment a private garden terrace. It was a radical vision for combining the density of city life with the green space and privacy of the suburbs. So we've seen these amazing, inspiring designs, but there's a huge elephant in the room, isn't there? How do we actually make this stuff affordable? All the great design in the world doesn't mean much if people can't afford to live there. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of the money side of things. First off, what does affordable even mean? Well, there's a benchmark that experts use. The general rule is that you shouldn't be spending more than about 30 to 40% of your income on housing. If you go over that, you're what's called cost burdened. And that's the core problem we're trying to solve here. So how do you do it? Well, one of the most common tools in the toolbox is something called cross-subsidization. It's kind of like a Robin Hood strategy for housing. Seriously, a developer builds a project with both premium, expensive units and more affordable ones. The profit they make from selling the fancy units is then used to lower the price of the affordable ones. It's a way to get mixed income communities off the ground. And this isn't just a theory. Take Delhi, for example. The DDA has a policy that says private developers have to reserve 15% of their new housing for what's called the economically weaker section. This is a direct policy aimed at creating social inclusion, trying to stop our cities from becoming just a collection of separate gated communities for the rich and struggling areas for the poor. Wow, okay, we have covered a lot of ground today. We've gone from the basic types of houses all the way to complex financial strategies. But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a big question to think about. Looking ahead, what do you think is the single most important ingredient we need for the future of our housing? It's a huge question and one we all need to keep asking. Thanks for digging into this with me.